Okay, we're just going to put the pistons on. Quite simple really. These are just the cheaper sort of AA ones. I fitted loads of these, never had a problem with them at all. What I tend to do, you see those two dots, I tend to put two dots on the pistons. Well, you know, number 1, 2, 3 and 4 on the pistons, and on the barrels I use a grinder and put little slits to match the piston, so I know what piston goes with what barrel. Because when you're lapping the barrels in the head, and I do the same on the heads, you want to make sure you put the barrel in to the one that you've lapped in. So basically, if you can see on here, see the arrow? So the arrow basically points towards the flywheel, so that way. So the way I do it, I've got number 1 at the moment in a bucket of water, hot water here. So imagine this was number 1. I'll put the circlip in here, and then I knock the pin through that way, and then just put that circlip in. And then that piston, I'll put the circlip in this side, and then knock the pin through that way and put the circlip. So you don't have to put both circlips in at the same time, as you can imagine. So we'll just put one in. I'm not going to bore you and do all of them. So this piston's not boiling hot, but it's quite warm now. So I'll just put this, just get the rod the furthest out it can go. Put them there like that. You can see the circlip's already in. When you put the circlip in, to make sure it is in fully, is if you squeeze it slightly and spin the pliers round, it should just go a full circle. If it binds up, it's not in square, but you can sort of see when it's in right. It's not difficult. So of course you've got the arrow there, which is pointing to there. So this goes in, look, finger tight now. I don't always do it like, you can just knock them in. It is worth checking these pins in your conrods. There's sometimes a little bit of wiggle, sort of like that, which is fine, you know, but you want to hold it and sort of pull it forward and backwards as you would with a big end. If there's any sort of play, if there's a load of jiggle like that, then you probably need to put little end bushes in, and you can press them in and then you get them reamed out, but a machining guy would do that, but these are fine, So literally that is all the way in now. So always double check, yeah, the arrow there, pointed to the flywheel, and get the other circlip. I found over the years, these kind of circlips, pliers, are the best. Straight ones, or the ones where you can change the end, they fall apart and get in your way. So basically, obviously don't twang it off and go in the case, but it's very, very unlikely you do that. So I normally get it pretty much all the way in, then just use the end. You'll hear it clicking in a minute. That's it, so it's just clicked in now. So if I put my circlip in there, you can see, just taking a little bit of pressure off the circlip and it's spinning nice and free. So that's it, that's your piston in. As far as the ring gaps goes, people will tell you all different things, but these are the total seal rings. So what I tend to do is, you've got a gap, so I'll show you on this one. So you've got a join there, and then you've got to join in that one, and then you've got to join in each ring. So what I tend to do is, say I put, where are we? So I put that join there, then this ring, I normally put sort of there, and then the other ring, they do move around anyway eventually, I put sort of there. But I always make sure that the join, where there's a gap in that one there, it's not the same gap as where you put in that ring, because you wouldn't want it like that, because you've got two gaps in the same place. So you put that on the opposite side. There'll be people who tell you all different things, but you know that you should be at you know, equal distance, or you should put them diagonally opposite, but I normally put them sort of, imagine the Greenpeace symbol, so sort of one there, and I find that's fine. You know, if you're going to put them opposite, then you're going to have one, you know, you could put them level like that, but if they're going to move around anyway, and if they don't move around, then they're better to be nearer the top. They're not going to move around and line up anyway, put it like that, it's not going to happen. So yeah, that's it, just a quick one really, just piston fitting. Obviously you can do your check, you can get the piston sort of like this, move it, it will wiggle a bit, but pulling it in and out, there shouldn't be anything. If there is, you've got problems. So I'll finish putting them on. We're not going to video all that because it's just, you know, you don't want to see me doing the same thing 4 times, do you? So then once they're all on, the next thing is I will mark up, centre punch the heads. So number 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I will lap with some grinding paste. I'll do a video of this. Number 1 barrel into number 1 hole on the head, and then do the same. But you just got to make sure that you wash the heads out really well, and you clean the barrels really well, and get rid of all the grinding paste, because if you leave grinding paste to any trace of it, it'll just shag your balls up. That's a funny word, but yeah, that's kind of technically it will wear away the surface of the bore because it's an abrasive material. But yeah, you just grind them into. I'll show you that when I do the heads. So that's it basically. So yeah, tomorrow night I'll probably put the barrels on. What I tend to do is lap the barrels into all the heads and everything, get them all ready, cleaned up, ready to go. Put all my pushrod tube seals on the push rods. Get all my nuts lined up and cleaned up for both sides. A little can of oil, to put a little smear of oil around the end of each pushrod tube where the seals are, just to help them bed in. And then on the end of the barrel, I put the paper gasket, but I put a sealer in between there and the end of the barrel. And obviously, because you're doing that, you want to put the barrels on and then tighten the head up pretty quick. Not dead quick, but you know, within an hour or so. Well, probably within half an hour, because that's what I use on them. And that seems to work well. If you don't use sealer on there, they will leak. Maybe not straight away, but it's the paper gaskets, they're just shit. And you're assuming this surface into a bit, you know, they're pretty clean, these are, but it's never perfect. Paper gasket ain't going to take it all up. So a little bit of sealer on both, don't do any harm. And obviously you've got to put your deflector plate in your barrels, but we'll show you that on the video. And then the sort of whole sort of short engine is sort of built up. At that point, what I might do, once I put the oil filler on, I might put some oil in it and spin it over on my starter thing on a stand, just to get the oil pressure up while everything's off, you know, while there's no auxiliaries on, just to make sure it spins over nice with the starter. But yeah, just a little one. You can buy more expensive barrels. I think these were like a couple £100. These are like AA ones, sort of American cheap sort of ones. You can buy cast Marler one, I think it's forged or whatever, Marler ones for £100 odd more, but I haven't ever had any problems with these. Even the 1641 ones, never had a problem with them. I think most of the problems with pistons and stuff is when you're running, you know, the timing ridiculously wrong, or they're running ridiculously weak, you know, or they're running low on oil. That's when you tend to get problems like that. But yeah, but just make sure these have been cleaned off with brake cleaner. Just make sure you clean them off dead well. Like anything new, wash it off really well, because there's always residue and little bits of grit and stuff on them. And before the barrels go on these, I'll brake cleaner these clean again, and then I tend to drizzle oil down here, and then put oil in the barrel in my hand and smear that round, and I'll get plenty of oil in there, and then, you know, that helps it while it's going along. Right, that's it. I'll put the rest of them on, and then I'm going for my tea. Must remember to tighten the flywheel up. Don't forget, remind me, don't forget to tighten the flywheel up. This will be knocking on wood, or whatever they call it. normally write on it, to be fair, not fucking tight. But you can't do it now. You can do it on a short engine if you've got someone to hold it, but I normally wait up till it's fully built up, and then I torque it. You can lean on the engine on a stand and torque it up 215 or 210 foot-pounds. I normally do it to 230, which is pretty tight. Don't try and chisel it tight. Don't try and use any other method. Do it with a torque wrench and get it fucking tight. 230 foot-pounds. Back in the day, we used to do them with a big bar and just sort of bounce on the big bar, which for years and years worked fine, never had a problem. Then we had a couple of occasions where the nuts snapped. Not anything we'd done, but we had somewhere we'd undone them, and we undid them and the nuts snapped. So the problem you've got is if somebody else has really over-tightened the nut and you're just doing it with a bar, you don't know how much, exactly what torque you're putting on it. If you torque it with a torque wrench, it's not actually that much. My torque wrench is only this long, and you can just bounce on it and do it. So if you've got a bigger bar and you're doing it, you could end up over-tightening it. So, you know, you live and learn. Every day's a school day. Right, if you're enjoying the vid, subscribe, give me some likes. We're going to be working on this a bit more. So every night this week, I'll probably be doing a little video, get this built up and get this done in the car, do a video of it, go in the car. I'm probably going to run it on a stand. So once it's up to once it's ready to have the barrels on and stuff tomorrow, I'll probably put it on a stand and build it up on a stand. And then we'll do it putting it in the car and it running in the car when it's running, but I'll get it running on a stand first. The Porsche's running sweet at the moment. If you look at the other video, I've done a video of the fuel flap that I painted, but I'm not doing much more on that yet. I've got to get this car running and driving. It's another spare car to use in case something breaks. I don't know how many spares I need. That's my justification anyway. That's what I tell the wife. I need a spare car, but I have got 3 spare ones. Well, nearly 4. But yeah, that's another story. If you're enjoying the video, subscribe, give me some likes, and I'll speak to you next time.